English translator, and then maybe I can understand it better. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I usually speak in Spanglish, so you will understand.
Yeah, just hit that record button, and I can listen to it slowly.
Okay. So in this case, we are looking at the food supply chain. That is what we are covering today, and it all starts with the grower. Usually, the grower is a farmer, and then it starts with the farmer having an identification of itself. It's called the global location number. Every member on the supply chain, every participant on the supply chain has to have a global location number. Similar to a UPC. In a UPC, everybody has to have the same thing. Well, here is almost the same, right? So once the grower, let's say, harvests the fruit, the vegetable, or whatever fresh product it is, then it identifies the product by assigning a lot number and a date. And that is called the lot of origin. So it's from the grower. So sometimes if in this graphic it shows in a box, but many times it's in batch. They put in containers in a very big container, and then it arrives to the packing or the manufacturing site. So this is where it starts: the identification of the grower, the lot number of origin, and then all the other logistic stuff. Then it goes to the packing house. If we talk about only packing, it goes to the packing house. In the packing house, now you have the identification again of the case with the lot number on the packing lot, and then you have the pallet identification where you assign a serial shipping container number to the pallet. Once you have the pallet identified, then it goes, it ships.
Yeah. Sure. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So once you ship it, then you identify all the people that participated in the shipping process, the transportation, the warehouse, the people that participated on the process. Then if this goes to a process, manufacturing, then again, it's the same thing. It arrives either by case or by pallet. You put that into the process, then you identify again the final product, and it goes to all the identification again of the pallet, of the shipping, and all the stuff. And finally, it gets to the retailer, when again you identify the distribution, the final destination, and even when it's a product that can be scanned in the point of sale, you can have the final trade item identification. So this is the whole process for the food supply chain. I know it's a little bit difficult to understand the first time, but once you get it, you're gonna understand it. And so all the people, all the participants in this supply chain sends the information to a place or a database that we can do the traceability similar to the blockchain. So it's like the grandfather of the blockchain. when you have all the different blocks of information, every block of information has its own identifiers, but all get linked by the lot number.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is the concept. Basically, this is the concept. This is every participant, and this is all the blocks of information that. I mean, this is the essential information. You can have as many as 99, they call it application identifiers. That is all the different attributes that can be set for an item. And you're gonna see around 15 that we use that are the most common application identifiers, but we can extend as to the 99 if it's required. Okay, so as we see, we start with the grower. So the first step is the receipt of the lot from the grower. So what we do here is we do a receipt. We assign a lot number. We assign a due date because it's a fresh produce, so you need to assign a due date. Then you say, okay, from where it's coming, okay, it's coming from this grower, and where I'm storing it, okay, in this warehouse. So I save the lot number. So now I have a lot of origin assigned. I'm gonna assign the quantity of the item that I am receiving, and I say what product is. I say it's a tomato. It's a Roma tomato. That is one variety of tomatoes. And then, so we have now a lot of origin of this number that is coming from this producer or grower that I'm storing in this warehouse of 100 kilos of Roma tomato. Okay, so this is the first step on the supply chain. Now that I have the lot of origin, I can go to another step. But let me tell you where do we define all these elements of every participant on the supply chain. So, where is that? Okay, so here we define the producer or the grower, the distributor, the packer, the customer, and the retailer. And we can add other participants here. If we want to add the manufacturer, we can add it here. And basically, all have the same information. For example, we say the name, some identification, the prefix that is part of what is required here. That is the GLN, right? So this is what is required. The GLN. A prefix can be something to identify, but the GLN is fixed. Then we define the label, the box label, the pallet label. These are the formats, and a logo of the company, and so on. And so we can do it for every participant in the supply chain. Now, this is like the settings of the database. The other important thing is the definition of the product. So as I told you, there are 99 attributes that we can assign to a product, but the most relevant for the fresh produce industry are these ones. That is quality, count, color, packaging, label, grade, size, method of growing, origin, category, unit of measure, and variety. So you have to populate all these different catalogs, but at the end, in the product, you basically assign all these things, right? So you create a new product, and you assign what category is. Okay, it's tomato, it's a Roma tomato, is of the size is medium size, is on this type of container, is a case 4x20. Is the color of the tomato is red because you can have different colors. You can have red, green, and that also that is an attribute more for the peppers, for example. For the tomato probably is not a good example, but for the peppers, You can have green, red, yellow peppers. The label is the label of the customer, if the customer is the distribution center, or the brand that you are packing this product for. You can pack for different labels. If you are like just a grower that pack for many labels, for Chiquita, Del Monte, whatever other brand. The growing method, the country of origin, the count is the count of items per case. The grade is the quality grade, or some grade, then you have the quality, the unit of measure, and the SKU. At the end, you have this product that is built depending on all the different attributes. So this is where you define all the catalogs, the participants on the supply chain, the attributes of the product itself, and then other like the transportation companies, the trailers and the containers of the trailers. Then you have also the employees, because this is traceability regulated by the FDA. You have to have the employees registered for every lot that is being packed or produced. So here you can upload the information from your time and attendance for the day, or you can have a fixed template for the employees, and just we're gonna see how do you assign this to the lot. So you assign here, you create the crew, and then at the end is where you define your lot, your packing lot. Here is where you define a new lot. Let's say it's gonna be so we just assign the product, and that's it. So we had, remember, we had a lot of origin and a packing lot. So now we have the two lots. And then we register now the shipping part. So in the shipping, you just define, okay, this is more for traceability, logistics, transportation. This is more on the logistics side. So you just create a manifest, a transportation manifest with a date, who is the packer, if this product is going to be exported, what is the exportation agency in Mexico, in the United States, who is the distributor, who is the final customer. In this case, we have the packer and distributor is the same, but the retailer is Norgate Market, that is in Los Angeles. Then you have where is right now, what is the stage of the load? We will say is in the grower or is in the packer, the quantity of pallets that is going to be on this load, and then you add information for the transportation company, the trailer, container, and the tractor, the temperatures of the trailer, because you want to track the temperature when it departs from the distribution center and when it arrives to the other place. And then here you assign the pallets of the product, and because the pallets contains the boxes, then you begin to build the whole load with all the different products. So this is more of the administration side of the software. Is where you define all the catalogs, the employees, the participants of the supply chain, and when you and where you ship the product from the packing. Okay, is everything clear?
I think so.
Okay, okay. Even it's in Spanish, you get a sense of what is the information here. Now, this is we were talking about all this different information that is going on here, and we talk about the pallets, and we talked about the identification of the grower and the packing house and the distribution center. Now, let's move to the operation. So here, this is the really the part that is more important, is where the packing really happens, and it's very graphical. We had a lot of going back and forth with the packing houses on how to use this. At the beginning, we were using similar to the administration tool. That it was very desktop system and all that stuff, but it was impossible to be used in the packing house. So what we finally end up is creating this that is based on a screen similar to a point of sale or what you see in a restaurant. It's a touchscreen based interface. So here, let's say in the morning or the night before, the packing supervisor knows what is going to pack in the that day. So they say, okay, today we are going to pack tomato. It's going to be Roma tomato. We're going to do it in this line because you can have many lines or many packing stations. You can assign, we're going to use this lot, and we're going to send it to the distributor that is AgroPack. The lot of origin for this is this lot. So here is where we build the link between the lot of origin and the packing lot. And now we record this, and if you see, and now it's going to be available. This is the screen that the supervisor sees to register everything that is going to happen today in the packing house. This is by day or by shift. You can assign how long you want to keep this visible. And this screen where it says etiquetas, that is labels, is going to be the screen that the packing people is going to see. So it's like an airport dashboard where you only see what is happening. Today, I'm going to pack cucumbers, I'm going to pack tomatoes. And it's already assigned the lot and the quality and where it's going to be packed. So it's very simple. They just select this. In the configuration, we already assign how many labels per pallet or how many boxes per pallet are gonna contain. So in this case, we say, okay, for a pallet, we're gonna have 25 cases for this product. In this other configuration, you can have other. You see, on the cucumber, we have 40 cases by pallet. In the tomato, we have 25. And then here we say print, and that's it. It's going to print the labels for the cases, the 25 labels for the cases, and the label for the pallet. At the time that this happens, when it prints, it generates the information in the database, and now it links the information of the packing lot with the lot of origin, the pallets, and everything is being recorded and is synchronized to the cloud. Okay? Everything fine here?
Perfect.
Okay. So now, let's say you already print the labels. So I'm gonna go to my shipping that I defined before, and now I'm gonna say I'm gonna record. Let me see. So this can be done manually here. So I just recorded a palette for this load, and then once I have it, I can print in the manifest. In the manifest, I can do as many formats as I want. One per command. Okay. It never fails to fail. Okay, so this is a report. We use DevExpress to generate a report. So if you have the permits, you can even modify this report. But it has all the information that is required for a manifest, for an exportation manifest. Trust me, it has all the information. And then you have here is the palette of the product that we put, right? So this gives you all the documents, and then if the customer needs different documents, we can create as many documents as the customer requires. So this is what happens on the packing house. Now the product is being shipped, and there is another piece of this that is now the Traceability Portal. As I said, everything is synchronized to the cloud, so all the information is sent to, we have an Azure database where everything is synchronized, and the application is on an Azure application. This is an example. Is not this portal can be customized by customer, but what is important is the reports, because the reports that we have here are the reports required by the FDA. In case of a recall, or if you want to track something, these are the reports. So just to go through, these are, you see that it has a number, the 5.1, 5.2. So this, in case of a recall, the FDA is going to ask you, okay, send me the report 5.1 or the report 5.2. So that's why we put it the numbers there. And because they have 10 reports, what we did is we consolidated different reports into simple reports. So for example, if I want to see what has been shipped from the packer, stinking, here we can see all this is all the information. We can filter it by the specific GTIN that we are. The GTIN is the number that is on the label. So then, when the FDA or some agency calls and, okay, I want to see, give me the information for this item, this lot that I'm tracking. Okay, so I see here that by using that that number, that is the GTIN, that is shown on the label. I can see that it was packed by Berca from Mexico in the state of Sonora, in the city of Caborca, on this date. This is the lot of origin. This is and all the information that is relevant for the tracking. So you can see all this. This is only the information that is required on the report. We can add more fields to it, but it's what usually there is a validation protocol, and we've just followed the protocol that says, okay, these are the requirements for compliance. So this is one example, but the one that is, I think, the most important is called the master tracer. The master tracer shows you all the supply chain. So I can say, okay, by this GTIN code, I can search, and then it tells me the whole history of this product. So this product was harvested or was identified, probably, usually it's the same, harvest and the beginning of the supply chain on 4/24. Then it arrives to the packer 4 days later and was packed on 4/28. Then it was shipped and arrived to the, it was picked by the transportation company on 4/30. It arrived to the distribution center on May the 2nd, and then it arrived to the final customer, that can be a retailer or a restaurant, on the 15th. So here you can track the whole history of the product, how it traveled, and you can see a little bit more information. We can add more data here on this sticky note for every participant. And here you see also the relevant information for for this specific lot that I selected. This is the serial shipping containers or the pallets, the products. Every pallet, this is by pallet. I have 66 cases of this product and all the different information. So and you can see all the different reports. And this is what the FDA requires, but we added a little bit more information. For example, that is what is relevant for the participants. Well, for the distribution center, I want to see what is available on the packing house to be, and this is ready to ship. When we created the pallet label, and the boxes and the pallet label, it generated a record here. So now the distribution center that is in Chicago can see that there is a pallet of tomatoes in the cold room right now. So they can call and say, okay, send me that today. So it's more for logistics and sales. So I can see what is in my packing house. Then also I can see what is in my distribution center. If I am in this case, the retailer, I can go in to this portal and see, okay, I see that in the distribution center, you have this product, okay, ship it to me. And I can see even by pallet. I can see all the pallets that are here and more information. So again, these are just reports that are relevant to the participants in the supply chain. And then the logistics is if and this is part where we need to decide on the integration, right? Because we ship the product from the packing house, but now it has to be received in the distribution center. So what we do is we give the option on the distribution center either to integrate with their WMS or their ERP that they have in the distribution center or the manufacturing site, and do the receipt in their platform and just send the information of traceability to our traceability database. Or they can use here, they can receive the load. Here is going to show only the loads that were shipped from the packing and are still pending to receive. So I can receive here. And then from here, I can also do the shipment to my customer. So here I do my shipments and I select what pallets and all the stuff. So this is more logistics, but it's important because it's where we identify the traceability participants, the distribution center, and the final destination.
Let me ask you one.
Yes.
If I'm a manufacturer and I have a distribution warehouse, do I have to send you traceability information from the manufacturing floor to the warehouse and then again from the warehouse to the customer?
Yes, because we want to know, remember, is one forward, one backward. We need to know all the steps that the product travels. So if from the packing house goes to the manufacturer, instead of having in the manifest, we will add manufacturer here instead of distributor. So we will add the manufacturer, and then that will be part of the supply chain. So the manufacturer, we will integrate the information. Here is the participant, that is the manufacturer. The manufacturer is going to receive the product, is going to process it, and he's going to identify it again. In the manufacturer, he's going to assign a lot number as well. So right now in the fresh produce, we only have two lot numbers, the origin and the packing. If you are a manufacturer, then we're going to have the origin, and even we can have four: the origin, the packing, the manufacturer, and that's it. I mean, we can have as many combinations, but all the time we need to track from where it came and where it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
And we were talking briefly about, okay, so in the manufacturer, what is the relevant information? So the relevant information is the packing lot of the finished good and the bill of material with all its lots. So we don't need to know your route or your operations, but we will need to know your bill of material or the ingredients for your product with the related lot numbers of the raw material, and only for the we only need to know for the raw material. We don't need to know anything for the packing, for example, the cans or the boxes. We don't need to know that information. It's more for the raw material, and that is a very easy interface, I believe.
So if I'm a manufacturer and I have three routings, I'm three stages in my production. Do I have to report every person in that production line?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Because we need to track the people that is involved in the process. I mean, it's the same in the medical device industry. But you can do it. I mean, there is different ways to do it. We have a lot of customers that they just have the time and attendance of today. They have the people assigned to certain line or operation, and then they just bring a report for that day, for that operation, and you can cross-link the information of the lot that was produced on certain line, and then you can have a report of the people. I mean, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's better than nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so basically that's it. I mean, this is the whole system. This is in English. The Traceability Portal is in English because distribution centers usually are in the United States, so that's why we did it in English and not. This is not even in Spanish. And then we also have the mobile applications that we created for the shipping and for the receiving, but probably are now obsolete because are on Windows Mobile. So probably we want to redo that in Android or something like
that. Okay. Tell me quickly a little bit about pricing.
Okay, pricing.
Unless you want us to sign an NDA, we've not signed an NDA, but
no problem. This is public information. You can even look it in our website. So no
okay.
problem. Hold on. Me la puso esta. ¿Cuánto estaban? En 3,000, ¿no? Okay, it's $3,000. The subscription is of $3,000 per year per packing facility. So it's easy. You can have, for example, depending on who is paying, is the one that is going to buy the licensing, right? So let's say the customer is a manufacturer. So if the manufacturer are going to ask their vendors to implement this, then every vendor is going to need to pay the $3,000 per packing house. Or there is a distribution center. So probably the distribution center is the owner of the brand, and then they have 5 packing houses. Well, they're gonna need to buy 5 licenses. So it's by packing house.
Okay.
And it's the list price. Then we can negotiate. It's a very, very competitive price against the other offers that are in the market. You can see options from $30,000 to $3,000. I mean, depending on the industry, depending on the products. So is where we can do I mean, this is something that we can decide later, depending on also on the reaction of your customers. What are they willing to pay and that stuff? But we updated that price recently down. Usually it was $5,000 per year, but we updated to $3,000 per year to make it more competitive. So if let's talk about the integration. If you guys want to proceed with this, I believe that this part, the admin part, all can be done in the ERP. I mean, because it's catalogs. So you can have, I mean, in the ERP, probably you can extend tables and have all the catalogs integrated into there. The only processes that are here are the recording of the lots, the recording of the shipping. And that, I believe that we can use the shipping process that is already in the ERP and just add the extra fields of the participants of the supply chain. The portal is very simple, as you can see. I mean, it's all basically reports, and not even reports, are tables. And this is also, we are using DevExpress to do the presentation. So we can use whatever technology we want to use to standardize it. And this is this information from the traceability portal. We are consuming the information from our traceability database that is on the cloud. There are two databases. The database that is local on the packing house, we decided to divide it because in many places they don't have a good connectivity. So doing everything on the cloud was very difficult. So what we decided is to have a local database, and then the local database synchronized with the cloud database, and only the information that is required for traceability. We don't send everything, right? So we can keep it like that, or we can keep it everything on the cloud, depending on how do you see your customer base is. And I think what we can left a standalone or redo it, depending on your decision, is this part that is the operational part. It has to be very simple, very straightforward, touchscreen based. The people don't need to enter any, just touch and select. No data entry required, because people that is on the packing house is not very computer friendly, let's say. But they know how to use an ATM, so this is basically using an ATM. Questions, comments? Hello?
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
On the technical side?
Does anybody, Lisa, do you or Glenn have any questions?
Not right now, Steve. We need to think what kind of data is already available in the ERP, and what we need to add more. So that detail, maybe we can take it up in the next session.
I think we can do it in
you're coming in bad for me.
Steve, on the integration, I think we can do it in phases, so it's not overwhelming for everybody. We can, as I said, probably we can have all the administration part in the ERP, and then have the other parts as it is. We can create a...
I can pull right there if you guys want to just...
Excuse me?
I think Steve is having some connectivity issue. Just a second. He should be back.
Steve? Yellow.
Steve, are you there?
Yeah, I've got a bad internet connection. It keeps going in and out.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah.
Okay, so what I was saying is that we can probably plan to do this integration in different phases. Probably do the catalogs and the administration part in the ERP, and then do all the rest with APIs. And then as we see this is a good business, and probably do everything in Acumatica. I don't know. We can do it in different ways. Yeah, let's go to Travis. Ya me toqué.
Juan, I think what we need to do is have some kind of integration meeting, right? So we know really what to integrate.
Correct. Yes. We need to have another meeting.
And how to. Can we do that sometime?
Yes, sure. Just let me. You tell me when.
Sorry about that. Can you guys
We are here.
hear me?
Yes. Let's finish this meeting, and let's connect again later. Sounds good? Steve?
I guess I just heard sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
I got horrible connectivity.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'll call you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.